Hey there. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yes, thank you.
I am so excited about our conversation today. Before we dig in, for those of you all who don't know me or my guest today, Miss MarKeisha, my name is Quintaria Brunson. I'm a financial strategist. Oftentimes, people refer to me as Madam CEO for the work and the strategy that I provide to businesses. I am the creator of a life changing, revolutionary system called the BlackPrint that has really scaled businesses, in particular for Black entrepreneurs. But MarKeisha and I'll let her share a bit about herself in a second. But we have been partners for a while, and I am so excited that she agreed to hop on with me today because she's got some exciting stuff. We've got some exciting stuff over here, and I really just want to dig into how women and Black women in particular, how we're doing dynamic things in tech and strategy and building businesses and all of that. So enough about me. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, and then I've got some good questions and all of that to find out what you've been doing. And at some point, I'll kind of share more of what myself and the Brunson approach has going on too.
Yeah, thank you so much for that introduction. Yes, I'm super excited to be here with you, Quintaria. As Quintaria mentioned, we have been business partners for a while now. We have a lot coming in the pipeline, so I'm excited for
Mhm.
that. But my name is MarKeisha Snaith. Let's see, I've been in the tech space for a decade now, right? So I've done everything from being in IT in general, and now I'm doing cybersecurity. So specifically Gen AI along with security architecture work. For those that don't know me, though, I do also have a few different business ventures. I think we may get into that. So I'm excited to share that at that time. But I am a serial entrepreneur, so hence the multiple businesses that I do have. But outside of that, I really do enjoy meeting people, traveling, cooking, just doing things that really keep me engaged. So I'm looking forward to this conversation.
I am too. And hold on, we're supposed to stick to more business, but when I tell y'all, she is such a food. Some of the best restaurants that I've been exposed to, MarKeisha has invited me out to them. So when I say, like, I haven't tasted your cooking yet, so we don't have to work on that.
And I
However,
cook from scratch too. I love
I
cooking
can't
from
believe
scratch.
it. She loves a good meal, baby. Like she can find, I mean, and not just like good grub, but like elegant and like yeah. So we need to get back to that again. But with
Will.
that being said, we are here to dig into business and just to highlight and celebrate one another. And I love you so much. I'm so proud of everything you're doing. And I'm excited to hear, as I'm sure everyone else is, what you have going on right now. Like you've been doing work as a serialpreneur, like changing people's lives in tech, helping people enter tech. Where are you now, and what are you working on at this moment?
Yes. So I'm excited for this question more than probably a lot of questions. Like I'm really excited for all the questions you're going to ask me. But this one's most exciting because I have been working on a rebrand. So I have hinted at it a few events that I've been to. I've told a few different people, but I'm really starting to like kind of roll it out and letting more people know about it. So for years, you all have known that I've been the founder and CEO of You Deserve IT Consulting. And of course, it's been known as a career services firm, right? So we help individuals transition into tech and being largely built around like my own expertise and my own brand. And that has been important, right? That's been an important part of my journey, but we have outgrown that narrative. So,
Yes, honey.
yes.
We love a good business outgrowing.
Right, right. So we're not just a one person operation. I think that a lot of people come to You Deserve IT Consulting and they're like, oh, I want to speak to MarKeisha. I want to speak to MarKeisha. But we are a full team. Like this is a full scale firm that is making an impact beyond just that traditional individual career transition. So
And
with
MarKeisha,
Mhm.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I have to speak on that because as a business consultant and a financial strategist, I often have to remind entrepreneurs, you don't want them to fall in love with you. You want them to fall in love with your brand, baby, because they,
Exactly.
if they're expecting me to pick up the phone every time and me to be on the other side of the Zoom when we book an appointment, you can't grow from that. And scaling businesses is what I do. That's one of the things that we really connect on and all of that. So I think that it's brilliant that you already kind of set the stage for no, friends, you need to fall in love with the brand because it is more than just me. And just a quick segue for any individual that thinks that they can do it alone, that you struggle with delegating and all of that, you loose yourself from that. As you
You
can
have
tell, I grew up
to.
in church, right? Loose yourself from that because delegating, automation, and all of that, that is how we scale. You cannot build $1 million brands, multi-million dollar brands, $1 billion brands if you are carrying the burden on everything. So I'm gonna let you get back to your story, but the strategist in me was just like, no, 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 honey, I gotta give some amen because it is so true. I need you to love my brand. And when you
Yes.
experience my brand, know that I am the visionary behind it. So essences of me and what I do and who I am will definitely be there, but you may not get me. So like, yeah, you may not get MarKeisha, but you got
Right.
her. You
And
still
I
have
mean,
thoughts and all that.
right. Of course. Of course. And if people want to speak to me, of course they can, right? But I'm not doing all of the services, right? My focus really is on more of the personalized strategy type of calls. But it was through you, Quintaria, and another individual that I met around 2000, I want to say 2022, 2023, where I really learned that you couldn't do it all by yourself.
Mm,
And then it came later on, a little bit later on, when I realized that the goal was really to move away from self-employment to being a business owner, right?
yes.
When you can be a business owner is when you can really truly scale up and make that passive income. And so I'm so appreciative
So
for
glad
having people
that
in my life like you, because it's
yes.
not everybody has that, right? You meet tons of people, especially with what you do, and you come to realize that people truly do need the assistance in breaking away from doing it all on their own.
Yeah, yeah. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. And in some communities, in minority communities in particular, oftentimes we've been bred and raised to be strong. And you can, like, we see that as a badge of honor to do
Right.
everything, but you cannot scale. You are limiting the wealth that you have. And that is, we'll get into the BlackPrint later, but that's precisely why I designed the BlackPrint because I was seeing people, brilliant individuals, charismatic, I mean, have great products and services, but they lacked the ability to delegate and expand and make their business idea or service scalable. So I am so, so proud of you
Thank
for,
you.
like, and you're such a delight to be around. You're so, I love like our yin yang type, for those of you all who, and you will see more of MarKeisha and I because we got some amazing stuff coming. But I'm like the brains, and she's like the, like the beauty, putting everything, making sure that everything is meticulously worded. And I'm like, honey, I love it. Do all of
Right.
that, and I'll be in the back putting the strategy together. But let's get back to your new venture. Like,
Yeah.
so you had to kind of groom your community to know that this is more than just me. And where did that get you? Where are we now?
Yeah, so we have changed the name. So we are no longer You Deserve IT Consulting, but we are Xire, spelled Xire. So I want to go into what Xire means
Mhm.
because, and it's okay if people pronounce it Xire because it really just depends on the region that you're in. But the term Xire is associated with leadership, authority, vision, often used to like refer to kings and those who paved the way for others. And so
Yes.
again, it's leading with intention, right? That's
Yes.
so important. And for us, what we focus on a lot is, and it hasn't changed, we still empower professionals to take control of their careers, but we have that corporate side. We've always had the corporate side, but the biggest thing has been individual, individual, individual. And now we're like, no, we do individual, but we also help guide businesses and build high performing teams, right? So I need everybody to definitely, when you start thinking about Xire, thinking about how we don't just help architect, individuals' careers, but we do also help to have companies become stronger and really help their employees become leaders that they deserve to be. So I'm super excited about what's to come. You all will hear more. If you are not following us, please do follow us. I know that Quintaria will attach all of the links and whatnot, but join our wait list that we have, because you can definitely get early bird pricing and things of that sort. So you want to be a part of that.
Yes, no, I love it. And I love I always say when God created me, I believe he dropped some pom-poms in the batter, because I want to like cheer. I'm sitting down, so I can't like do cartwheels
Right.
or anything. But I remember having these conversations, especially like when we were first introduced with each other. I'm like, you're brilliant. Why are you hand holding
We
people
need
and
to
doing
drop
like
the recordings. We have to drop the recordings.
yes, no. And I'm like, why are you hand holding and going bit by bit by bit? However, I say this though, as I give other strategy, I have to hold myself accountable too, because when we were doing strategy sessions and things of that nature, we were really helping businesses scale, and we were what I thought was like, oh yeah, we're on a massive level because we're getting opportunities with large entities and big corporations, but we still were hand holding the one corporation or whatever.
Mm,
So with the BlackPrint, we were like, we've got to scale it. We've got to get more people in the room, because the knowledge that my team and I share, the knowledge that you give to others is necessary and it's needed, and people are drowning without things that are is simple for us, but it's so almost like elusive and not as it doesn't seem as tangible for others. So I
right.
just love baby hearing you
Thank
say
you.
that you know like that you were like, you know what, you found your tribe, and I love it. I
It's
love
been
it. I
five
love it.
years
I love it.
coming. And I
Yeah.
think it's important to realize, like, some people, they can do it in a year, they can do it in 2 years, they can do it in 5 years, they can do it in 10 years, right? Everybody's journey is completely different. Like for me, I don't really focus too much on, oh, it's 5 years later and I'm just getting to this point. I don't, because my journey is different from everybody else's, and I have to appreciate where God has led me and the people he's brought into my circle, right? And
Yeah.
so I think it's important for people to not think like, oh my gosh, I have to catch up, or oh my gosh, I need to go off and run and do this. No, but you need to be very intentional. And we'll talk a lot about strategy and intention and systems throughout this call, because I think that's really important. That's almost like the backbone of businesses.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with that being said, what were some early lessons that shaped you as a tech founder?
Ooh, so some early lessons that shaped me. I guess I want to say more so, I'll touch on the strategy part.
Okay.
I think a lot of times people don't have a plan,
Mm.
right? They kind of wake up one day and say, "Oh, I want to do this." And it's great when you're ambitious. It's great when you have drive and you're like, "Okay, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it. I'm not going to have a plan. I'm just going to just get it done," right? And I had to learn the hard way that a plan is so important. I think when I first met you, I didn't even have a business plan. And it wasn't
I
because,
remember.
yeah, and it wasn't because I didn't want to have a business plan. It was just like, I feel like I didn't need that. I'm the type of person who doesn't follow rules. I don't read instructions. I just build.
And let me say this too, because you're not the first entrepreneur entrepreneur that I've worked with that was in the same position. And what I'm so glad that it seems like like that you see it now is what I always want to impress upon them is if you have the hustle and the drive and without a plan, you are doing this level. Just imagine if you just put some structure and some systems around what you're doing. So, one, it makes the anal individuals like me feel like, see, we kind of know what we're talking about. But I definitely want to really touch someone on this conversation today to let them know that you don't lose your creativity by CEOing that thing, which is what, like a phrase that I always say. You don't lose your ability to be unique and creative and to not answer rules by putting systems to it. You allow more people to experience your creativity, to experience your brilliance. So thank you for those of us who are the nerdy people in the back that are like, no, system, 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 because I definitely, I know it to be true. I've seen it time and time again with hundreds of clients that I've worked with, from schools that I've spoken on, like you name it. It's like systems and a regiment does not have to limit your creativity, like it. And it definitely, I can only imagine how much you're going to flourish and grow now that your creativity and your brilliance is going to be able to be like you're going to be able to mass produce it. Like that,
Right.
it's just amazing. It's amazing.
And I think some people think that systems have to be very complicated and complex. And I think from having a technical background, that's easy to think, right? Because we are always building, right? Like in my particular role, as I focus more so on security architecture, I'm looking at the design of things, right? If I don't have a complex design, you don't have enough controls in place.
Yeah.
Your systems don't have to be complex. And I think we're starting to learn that more with AI, especially because we're starting to realize that automation piece becomes super, super easy, right?
Yeah.
Once you start adding that automation, you really don't have to try to figure it out from there, or feel like this whole system is complicated and I need a huge tech stack and things like that. That's another thing too. Like, you don't need to have, one thing I hate about companies, some companies, and this is just working in corporate too, so much tech, so much software that just overlaps and does the same thing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
a waste of money, it's a waste of
And
time,
redundancy. Yeah.
redundancy. It's so not necessary. So I
And real talk, when you notice things like that, you kind of lose respect for whoever you're working for or working with, especially, and not just off top, but if I let you know, like, hey, this app and this app does it, and oh, that's just how we do it, or die. I know for me that, I know it isn't a dating conversation that we're having, but it definitely is a turn off. It's like okay, so you just want to do this, like it is about efficiency and being, for myself, being a strategist, especially a financial strategist. It is I don't want to leave anything on the table.
Yep.
I'm not trying to leave any extra, I'm trying to use all of the resource, services, and tools around me at maximum capacity, to have the ultimate level of efficiency. And I just can't stop saying how excited I am to see you move through that course, because like I said, just the level of success that you had, without even having a business plan, just like honey, don't forget it. I'm gonna have to I'm team, please lock
I'm gonna
in
have to put my
on this.
wins on. I have to speak with my wins. I have a lot of wins.
Yes, well, let's chat on that. What are these wins looking like, baby?
Yeah, so I have helped over 400 professionals transition into tech. Let's talk about that. Transition. That means a lot of them had no tech experience and they transitioned into the tech space through my coaching. In
That
addition
is
to that,
marvelous.
it is amazing. And you don't really realize until you write it on paper. I
Mm-hmm.
didn't realize until I spoke at GovTechCon and I had to write it on out. I had to actually go back and look at and start counting and adding things up. And I was like, oh my goodness, like this is
Yeah.
crazy.
When people read my bio, I remember one time when I was on Fox News, and they were like announcing stuff, and I was like, Oh yeah, I did.
I
Oh,
did do that.
yeah,
Yeah,
like, oh, that's cool.
me.
Oh, that, like, because for the most part, we're just working. We're working and doing what we do. And that, but anywho,
But
keep sharing those wins.
this is why metrics is so important. We don't just talk about putting metrics on your resume, but you have to have metrics, especially as you're trying to build up that personal brand. If you can't share that value with somebody, they can't see what you have to offer. I mean, even talking about the amount of money we've been able to generate over our clients that we've had combined, it's been a little over, I think right now we're at $31.6 million total. That means that the average client for us that has come through has been able to increase their salary by 30,000 to about $150,000.
Honey, that is newsworthy. That is new. And especially with this conversation on how Black women are rewiring the rules in tech and strategy. If that is not like a highlight, like, so if no one else puts you in a magazine or puts you, like, I am giving you your flowers today,
Thank
400 people that you've helped enter an industry, like you've put, and this is why I
And think
get
about how
so.
I did it alone.
Thank
I
you.
my
That's what I'm
team,
saying. How many people are you going to bless now? Now
right.
that you're scalable and sellable, baby, that's why I say that it is so important. I love what you were saying earlier about not getting distracted with what other people, even in your industry, are doing. You have to walk your own path and be true to that.
Yep.
People's lives are depending on you getting yourself together. You put food on people's tables. You have given sick people's children's family, sick children medicine and things that by giving a 30,000 to $100,000 increase. That's a game changer.
Significant. And that's why we need more people in this field. We
Yeah.
have to have more people in this field, especially Black people in this field.
Yeah. Well, what is a common mistake that you feel like, or that you see entrepreneurs or even just people interested in the tech industry? What's a common mistake that they make, or that a common mistaken assumption that they have about the tech industry?
Yeah. So I'd say one common misconception that people have about the tech industry is that it's like once you're in, you can kind of just sit back and relax. That is not the case. You are always learning. I have done a few different jobs and roles and been in different careers my entire life. And I will say the tech industry is not one of those, especially not when you are in cybersecurity. You are always competing. There's people who are studying, stacking, getting certs, everything. You have to be on top of your game. And that's why a lot of these companies are paying great money and are putting great money into professional development, right?
Yeah.
There are companies paying 4 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand a year to each employee because they realize how on top of things you need to be. If we're talking about cybersecurity, we're talking about protecting the data that's on the information systems, right? You
Yeah.
need to be on top of what's the latest threat out there. What are hackers doing? What are the hacker groups? What are they trying to do now? What's the latest thing coming out, right? How
Yeah.
to stay on top of AI? Like you need to be educating yourself. You cannot get into this field and think, oh, ooh la la, it's great money. Yes, but are you ready to put in the work to keep that great money?
Come on now, precisely. And I love how you're pointing out that real talk. I don't care if my grandfather used to say it's a proper way to sweep streets. So every industry, every job, every marketplace has a specific way to do things. So
Yeah.
shame on anyone that thinks I want to get into this industry because it's sweet and I can be lazy as hell. Like that, like off top, it's like, okay, yeah, you'll be working for me for the rest of your life,
I'm telling you, you can't be expecting these 6 figures and then you're just going to sit
Thank
back
you.
and
And that
relax.
you're going to do nothing. But one of my first tech clients, it was years ago when I first started the strategy firm. And one of our first clients was a tech client, a tech
Mhm.
owner starting I was amazed at the level of responsibility that this, and I can't say what they did because it was for a huge entity, but I was amazed at the level of responsibility, like people's personal information and data, and like, and I'm like, yo, like, it really is imperative that this particular company has their stuff in order, and they're doing things, like appropriately, because it's a lot of responsibility. And then I was amazed at the checks that came through. I was like, oh, oh, baby.
It's a lot of
I
money.
was like, babe, we sealed a deal for them, and that was, well, in the last 2 years we kind of beat that, but for the first 7 years of owning my company, that was definitely like mind blowing how much we got on our commission for supporting them. And I was
Wow.
like, oh yeah, let me play around in these hey
Right.
y'all,
Let's go get some more.
hey.
No, we definitely do well. We do very, very well. So
Oh, so I'm still listening to your
you wanted to yeah.
yeah, for
So yeah, so if we're not just talking about, being in tech in general, like some other misconceptions, I want to say too, like a lot of people around me are now starting to become business owners, right? They want to open up their own tech consulting firms. And I think with that being said, some of the things that people outside of thinking that the systems have to be complex or not planning ahead and things like that, just using the wrong tools for the wrong phase of their business. So,
I
you
definitely
already know what I'm
see
talking
that. Yeah, I definitely see that. And like I said, for me, one of my passion pushers is what I call it. What gets me invigorated and wakes me up and motivates me is because of the brilliance that is being bottlenecked by the entrepreneur themselves.
Mhm.
It isn't a lot of outside forces or haters or like, or the man or the system that's keeping us from winning. Oftentimes it's our own self, and sometimes our own talent, like we spoke to before, being able to wake up and have a hustle. Hell, I'm
Yep.
from Detroit. Like, hustle is through me, like all around me, so I get it. But taking the street savviness, like that grit that you have, that charisma that you naturally have, and bottling that thing up so that people can, like mass produce it. That's the secret sauce that so many, that like I said, just really motivates me to inspire brilliance in individuals like you, like, and in other entrepreneurs that myself and my company have helped to support, to get to where it's like, no, 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 don't just lose this sauce and share it randomly. Like,
Right.
let's write this recipe down, bottle it straight, because and I know that we're not here solely for business strategy, but do you know how many licensing opportunities that I've helped people save, and they didn't realize that, like, no, 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 this, you can brand this and package this,
Right.
and
Opportunity.
thank you, and send this to the trademark and patent office, but we miss it because for some, they feel that it's inorganic to sit down and, like you said, write the vision, write
Mhm.
out your business plan, consider your structures, and
Document
beyond that. And
processes.
thank you. And I had to do this in order, I think when we first met, my goal was to get to a 4-day work week. Now I finally made it there. Now I'm working on getting to a 3-day work week. But what is the point of amassing wealth and hitting these targets and doing brilliant and amazing things around the country, the globe, or whatever, and I can't really enjoy it? I
I'm
don't know
telling
about you, but I don't believe that God made me and he was like, up, oh, another worker bee, like, up, she's gonna work from sun up to
you,
sundown.
whatever.
Thank you. Like, I
It be
really,
like
I
that
don't.
sometimes though.
Yeah,
Like when we talk about, I think a lot of people mistake busyness for being productive.
thank you. And they are not the same.
They're
They are
not.
not the same. And busyness is selfish. When you're busy, you're just making yourself feel good. And again, like I said, you have families and generations waiting on you to produce whatever's in you. Like, someone can't do what they need to do until you get your stuff together.
You're
So
right.
They really can't. Okay, I got so many questions for you because I'm super, super excited. Well, one of the things that I want to know is what are your long term goals? Like, I know you've talked about your successes, and I know we didn't hit them all, but y'all, she got many successes. Like, I don't hang around. Like, I coach and train and work with a lot of people, but I don't partner with a lot of people. And MarKeisha, even when we had a working relationship and, like, and I was like, like, like being like her mentor coach, that like, no, ma'am, like, no more are we going to do these one-on-ones, but I partnered with her and I was excited to because of, like your vision and like I said, just I love the yin yang that we bring. But with
Mhm.
that said, knowing your wins, seeing and hearing where you are now, where do you see yourself 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Where do you see your company 5 years from now or 10 years from now?
Sure. So I guess I'll start with my company and then I'll kind of lean into where I see myself. So I mean, the next 3 to 5 years, I mean, I really see Xire as not just being known as that coaching brand, but more of like that strategic house. So a place where like talent, system, strategy basically meet in the middle. So just think, I always tell people, think McKinsey and meets Cartier, right?
Ah,
So we're expanding into like curriculum and digital products and corporate partnerships and hosting leadership retreats, leadership labs. Like I want people to see that careers and companies
I love a good event.
intentional design. Oh, the many events are coming. I already know. You already know. When it comes to that, I love that. But I also see at some point, me stepping away from running the business and being a CEO of the company to more so being able to retire, get into more philanthropy, things of that sort. I love giving back. And if I could, always do it full time. I mean, I technically do, but I mean, full time, like money not involved, right? Just doing it because it means the most to me, I would do it. But of course, I have my 9 to 5 that I work. I have my multiple business ventures. So the whole idea is that eventually, with everything that I'm working on, I'm able to scale it up and step away and to like really retire, to travel, to be on yachts, right?
Yes, honey.
Sipping my drinks, like but also I'm a phone call away for
She's
those
a
that
pool party too. Like she's a fun time too, folks. Beyond just being brilliant and beautiful. Like, yeah,
thank
we have
you.
a ball together as
We
well.
do. We do.
Yeah,
We be sitting in
yeah.
we're like those chill people, right? So we observe, we gonna look pretty, we observe, and we gonna get into the mix if we need to. So
Thank you. If we need to. Oh yeah. Because if anyone ever comes to you and is like, oh yeah, I saw Quintaria and she like jumped out on the dance floor and started break dancing and dot the lies, the lies.
right, like
Now,
I don't know, that
rocking
may
back
have
and
been
forth
AI
in my
Quintaria.
chair or close to my chair, like after I heard a few songs that I love, most definitely. But
Absolutely.
I love that for you because I mean that. Like, all of this work that we do and the energy that we exert and that we put out, it should be for the ultimate goal of some form of rest and relaxation and enjoying this, like enjoying the fruits of our labor and what's happening.
And firsthand, I heard it from you first. People don't think about exit strategies. They
Mm,
think about being in their company forever. That's again goes back to that business plan and the importance of it. If you are not seeing yourself out of your business, you working in your business for 50 years, that's crazy work.
yeah,
Like crazy.
yeah.
All of the wealthy people have gone in, they've scaled up, they sold, and they gotten out onto a new venture.
And even and thank you for saying that because I want everyone to know on this call right now and for those who see it later, an exit strategy, I live by that. If you do not have an exit strategy, quite frankly, you playing games. You're playing games with your life, your livelihood, and your future generations, whatever you want that to look like. Exit strategies allow us to live forever, period, because you can build a brand that can last forever. You can do so much to make sure that that your legacy moves on and carries on. And I just love that you mentioned exit strategies, because that is definitely where my firm has blessed more business owners than almost any other thing that we've done, because people start and and I don't know what it is, but so many of us have the gift of starting something, but we don't think about the end. And again, going back to my church roots, like, to see what the end's going to be, baby, you better start with the end in mind, because starting with the end in mind can one, even when it comes to like setting up a business, how you would set up a franchise differs greatly than how you would set up a business that you want to sell in the future or things of that nature. All of that matters when we're structuring our businesses. Now, getting back to business, for your company, what is we talked about like in the next 3 to 5 years, but is there a generational wealth plan, or like how do you see this like 100 years from now, aspects of this brand still looming around, or things of that nature?
For sure. So I think that's like kind of where legacy comes in, right? So I think when people think about legacy, they think, oh, what are you leaving behind for your children, for like your last name? Like, how is your last name going to be carried? I mean, personally, for me, Quintaria, you know that I don't have children. What am I going to leave behind? I'm going to leave everything down to my dog. Remember that movie that was on Netflix when everybody got so mad that the woman left like the whole estate to the
To the
dog?
dog.
That's about to be me. But but
But
realistic.
our legacy still, I have children, but I'm thinking 100 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, even if my children are in their 20s, even at their healthiest, 100 years from now, they may not be here, or like that.
Right. So
So
how is that going to stay?
thank
Like,
you. You still, and that's why I said our businesses allow us to live forever. The work that that Rockefeller and his brand, or the Vanderbilts, that you name it, they
mhm,
we can truly, and everything that I do, I am thinking no less than 100 years out. How
right.
is this call and this conversation that we're having right now today going to be archived and going to bless our legacies? But I want to hear more from you, and I would love for you to expand on not having children right now. Like, God only knows what might happen. But
Don't start. Don't start.
I know, right? Hey, like, I'm here for it. One good hoorah, right? But not having children at this point in your life, like, share what legacy looks like, because legacy is beyond just having children, especially in our society today.
Yeah, absolutely. So for me, I really don't think that the legacy is about what you leave behind, but it's more so about what you're building right now in real time. So that's the systems and the relationships and the products and the strategies that we talk about, right? So making success feel like possible and relatable for the next person, the next woman, the next Black person, the
Mhm.
next Black woman in business, right? I want to leave that behind. How do I do that? Well, one, by continuing to speak on these topics that we're talking about right now, continuing to put myself out there, continuing to have that at the forefront of my mind, and being intentional with everything that I do. Like, what am I doing to help support and be more relatable to the people in the Black community? Right.
Mhm.
That's important to me. In addition to that, that may also mean too getting into building a product. I was just talking to somebody about this today. I have services. It's time for me to move into products. Like, I have digital products, I have ebooks. That's great, but I mean products, like tech products. That's
Yeah,
what I really want to do. It's been on my mind since 2019. I need to make it happen. That's
yeah,
where people are getting those paychecks at, right? That's when they're able to really sell their companies. So again, I want to be remembered. That's really important for me. I want to be in history books. Like,
yeah.
I wake up and I say
And
this stuff all the
leaving
time.
creating products does, like services, it does what it does. It is,
Mhm.
I'm in the service industry, but my team and I are working on products. And one thing I'll say, like, I just want to drop a bomb right here, being a financial strategist for entrepreneurs, we need more tech and retail collaborations, tech and strategists
Mhm.
collaborations, because in order to survive in this global climate, in this current economy, like we have got to leverage the beauty and the technology in ways like never before, because the wealth gap is getting broader and broader. And like you said, if you don't have something that will allow you to live, live on beyond when you're physically here, even be it while you're here is going to be a little rough. While you're
Absolutely.
here is going to be a little challenging. Long gone are the days that, like I said, I'm from Detroit. So many of the people who, like in the 90s and the 2000s, when I was growing up and all of that, like many of the jobs and all of that are obsolete. Like, no, like you're not balling anymore, like with the $80,000 blue collar job. You're struggling. You
I'm
might be in
telling
a soup
you.
kitchen line.
And you have to get ahead of it.
You
We talk
do.
about this all the time. I don't think it's just with the AI, it's with other things too. People are going to get left far, far, far behind. We always
Yeah.
have conversations on Twitter about who can live off of an $80,000 salary, $100,000 salary. Like, I don't care what anybody says, like, wealth
It's
is like,
people doing it though. It's
people are
plenty of
doing
people.
it. People
And
are
I think
doing
the
it.
average salary in the US is what, 40, 50,000. So people are
Yeah,
making it
it's
on
not
less,
very much. People are definitely
but do
making.
you want to? you
That's
know?
what I'm saying. Do you want to struggle? Do you want to live paycheck to paycheck? I know I personally don't.
Yeah, yeah. But that's why I really think that platforms and just showcasing a relationship like we have, a strategist and a founder, like coming together. And one of the things that I really admired about you, and that I still do, that you mentioned now, was that your commitment to your community, because I share that. And that is not to say that, like any disrespect to any other community. But I don't think that Black people, Black brilliance has to get it out of the mud every time. And
Yeah.
going back to our discussion on legacy and how we live forever, if nothing else, even if the work that I do, the strategy that I provide, the assets and tools, and just the inspiration that I have given and I will continue to give others as long as I can, even if it does nothing but give somebody a one step up or a two step up, that's legacy as well too.
Oh, for
Every
sure.
generation, every industry does not have to hit control alt delete and do it on our own and get it by ourselves. So that's why I really encourage collaboration and working together and things
Right.
of that nature, because and I really believe that tech and other industries need to come, because we need you and you all need us as well too. Like, yeah, because innovation is limitless. However, you can expand those thoughts more to a greater level when you're not in a room with people who think very similar to you, when you're not in a space with, like, yeah, like branch out, because we all need each other. And I really believe in the Black community in particular, that is how we can win. Take this brilliance, put, uh create a product, a system, a service where multiple parts are working. I speak on other podcasts, and I often speak to some of the best collaborations are the ones that you're not competing. Far
Oh,
too often, two tech companies that do similar things try to partner and it goes left. But if I bake apple pies and you own a truck company, That's a beautiful partnership.
Yeah,
So
you're
that's why it's a beautiful partnership because we're not competing. Everything, the more pies I bake, that does not inhibit your growth with your truck company. It expands us both. The more trucks you buy, that just encourages me to bake more pies. So I really want our community to not frown upon, and going back to where we first started this conversation, is learning that you cannot and you should not do it alone. But even once you master that within yourself, find and build partnerships so that we all can win. Because I watch the national debt clock all the time. Every time I do, I'm not sure if you've attended one of the BlackPrint yet, but
No, I'll attend next week.
yes. But we start off with showing the national debt clock to show how much money is moving every second, how
Mhm.
much money is in circulation. So do not have a scarcity mindset. Now, vet your people. Don't go out there and say, Madam CEO told me just to run out here and partner with. Make sure you're
But
working with
also vet, yeah, about to say you have to vet the people you're working with. It's
you
been
do. You
crazy,
do. Because
crazy.
we've had to chase down a few people ourselves.
I'm telling you,
Like what you won't do, what you not gonna do.
we have definitely, we've
Yeah,
definitely had
we
some.
might got a few more that we got to check in
Oh
on.
goodness.
But once you vet and you see that, okay, this is a workable solution, partner establish official partnerships, joint ventures. If you don't know how, reach out to strategists like
Right.
myself. Like establish partnerships and come together, and you take your brilliance and my brilliance, and we can come up with something amazing and win, period.
And I think some people kind of forget that it used to be like that, right? We talk about the Black Wall Street, right? At least we talk about it.
Yeah, we do.
Others talk about it, but a lot of people in the community don't really know about it, right? They don't do their research to know about it. And we were a community at one point, right? Everything stayed within our
Yeah,
community. We had our education within the community. We had our retail stores and things like that. So we were all giving into each other. We really have to get back to that.
yeah. And you have, I can say that MarKeisha has always had that stance and that commitment to our community. Even if I come to her, or even when she comes to me with like, hey, can you volunteer here or like we're both always like, heck yeah, when, where, we'll
Right.
move stuff around to make sure that we're supporting and all that. Now, I'm not going to sit in foolishness for too long, like I'm gonna keep it real, but but to give back and a hand up and all of that, I don't know where I would be if someone hadn't blessed me multiple times along the way with
Mhm.
good information, with solid advice, with funding, investments, you name it. So I definitely don't mind supporting the community that I love and the community that I and you are products of. However,
Right.
I agree. We need to remember the best parts of our community, the best parts of our heritage, and recreate those. But the
Yeah.
beauty is, and that'll be a whole nother conversation. We are working on something that does just that. That takes the best of our community and shows you how to leverage it, how to level it up, how to be more than just looking good and actually being good,
Mhm.
like because it's a one thing I realized too, when you start to move up this ladder, this so-called ladder, right? You see that like a lot of people have assets and money, resources, but many of them do not know what to do with it, like and it's like what a shame,
I'm telling you.
I tell clients all the time, literally before we hopped on this call, I had a client that she's working on some things and she does not want to leverage her personal credit. I know I've been sweet on this call, but sometimes with my clients, I gotta be real and raw. What the freak is an 800 credit score good for if you're not gonna leverage it?
You're not gonna leverage it.
What
Like,
what what have you like who is it helping to get a high credit score just to say you got it? And then on the flip side, since we talking trash here, like on the flip side is the people who have a business, but their black card and stuff for their business was from their personal credit. It's like, no, you're not fully leveraging your business,
Right, right.
and from even from that standpoint, to my point of us working together and remembering community, all the if I've got great credit and you've got great ideas, vet them first. Again, y'all will not blame Madam CEO for having you in any, and write strong contracts. You
Right.
and I have talked about that. Put them in a contract, baby. I you can ask people I've dated. Google me, baby. They had a contract. I don't play any games. I'm not playing, and I'm just being all the way real. Put some boundaries, some standards, like around, set some expectations, and people will amaze you, because more often than not, when you have contracts, when you have clear expectations, people know where to meet you. They can see where their superpower can add value to what you have going on. And I just so appreciate people like you that have come into my life. And like I said, I coach and mentor a lot of people, but I don't partner with a lot. So I was like,
Right.
no, ma'am. What you want to do?
Right. We got to do something.
Yeah. And we figured it out too. That's another thing. I'm gonna get off my mother hen bench in a moment, but don't force it either.
Yeah, it come
Definitely,
naturally.
yeah. Don't force it. However, don't block it. I think it was Nipsey Hussle that said you can either fight with the rocks or roll with the river. Roll with the river. Keep yourself a little open to see, because you just never know where a partnership lies. And for MarKeisha and I'm not gonna get too much in our personal story, but we kind of got close after a tiff, and it was like we met through some girls, and they blew up, and it was like when the smoke cleared, it was just MarKeisha and I standing there, and it was like, girl, what you doing?
Right, like, okay. People probably would have never guessed that we would be doing any type of partnership together.
Thank
That's why
you.
we always say the whole yin and yang thing, because
Yeah,
we realize each other's strengths and superpowers, and
yeah.
we don't try to fight against that, right?
We don't. And I feel like we do a great job in covering each other in where we're not, it's like, don't worry. I got you. Don't even worry
Right,
about that. I'll
right.
take that. And you do the same for me. Like, the places, like, I don't, you're like, no, don't worry. I'll handle that, you know. So we're coming up on an hour. This has been an amazing conversation. Like, I'm so excited for you. I'm excited for, like the Brunson approach, and me just knowing you personally as well has had a hand in allowing you to have the courage and just the discipline to move forward. And I know that you will have so many great things, because I saw you when you were just hustling and still getting great things. Like, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
excited for what's to come. Honestly, this
yeah,
is crazy. Like with everything going on, the fact that I'm literally doing a rebrand right now. And I mean, that means a lot of restructuring, and I don't even care. Like, something in my heart tells me I'm going to be successful. Like, this is my year. So many great things are happening. So while everybody is kind of stuck and feeling down, like it feels just like during the start of the pandemic. I was learning new things and I was hustling even harder, right? Like I did great things during the pandemic. It's the
yeah.
I'm doing great things again. So you can either fight against the rocks or you can roll with the current, right?
Thank
You
you.
have you
Shout
have
out
to
to
choose,
Nikki.
right. You got to choose your challenges, your battles, things like that.
And I love with you saying that, especially as we come to a close, because I want to remind everyone that the greatest wealth opportunities come during adversity. The
Mm.
greatest opportunity, because all businesses are solutions. And when people are losing their freaking mind, when all the chicken littles are running around saying the sky is falling, you
My 401k is falling.
don't don't do, and look, don't do that. We gotta wrap this thing up. That'll be a whole other 2-hour conversation. But no, seriously, businesses are solutions. So if people are running around saying the sky is falling, how amazing is it for me to have the sky prop? You
Right. I'm
know,
about to step in. I'm about to solve your
thank you.
problem.
Yeah, like we've created the sky prop. Like push this button and it holds the sky up over your head. Like whatever we got to do.
And that's how people
Yeah.
have to approach it. Like my very first business was selling hair. Like that was my
Yes.
first.
I
I
had
was
a
doing that.
fashion week. I had a fashion week, and we were in 5 cities, baby. And I used to let that hold me back because when I first started strategy, I was like, oh my gosh, people are going to remember me from the fashion week and die. But I'm so glad that I was like, well, hell, I was successful at it. Like
Exactly. As long as
it
you
was
were
a
successful.
successful business. So yeah, so
It
selling hair.
definitely brought us to a place where, and this goes back to if you are thinking about starting a business, make sure you're trying to find us like solve a problem.
Yes.
It makes no
Yes.
sense to starting a business where there's like that solution. Like I love how there's always competing companies, but they solve the gap. And then
Yeah.
you just need to come in and solve another gap. And then somebody else comes in and solves another gap. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you have to think that way. You can't just be like, oh, I'm going to start a business because I'm passionate about it. Passionate, you go to the bank and you tell them, I want the money because I'm passionate.
Thank you.
Reject.
Thank you. And
Reject.
however, they will cut you a check for a brilliant idea, though.
They
But it
will. They
needs,
will.
but you just can't come in like you say, like I've got passion. I've got 20,000 followers. Like we
What's
don't.
your plan? You need to have that whole proposal ready to go. Show them
Thank
all
you.
those slides. Yeah. So
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So before we wrap up, do you have anything that you'd like to share with our audience? Anything to close them out? Anything that can connect us back to you and that can keep us motivated and moving along and doing some of the great things that you've done as well?
yeah, absolutely. I think I'd probably like to close with advice. And then of course, my call to actions, right? I think that's always
Certainly. Do your thing.
so just going back to systems, right? If you don't build the system, you'll burn out trying to do everything yourself. You have to invest in the systems and you have to invest in the people. And it's not just about like investment in systems, meaning, oh, you have to spend all this money. It's about like buying your time, buying your energy, being
Setting up an SOP.
peace of mind, right? Like you deserve to scale with ease. You don't need to be stressed out about it. Start small, but start now. I think that's a big thing. Don't
Mm,
keep trying to find the right moment, the perfect moment. Be like those TikTok people, right? They don't find the perfect moment. Sometimes they roll out of bed, no makeup on, their hair looks a mess, their clothes look rough, but they're the ones making the most money.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't keep
Now,
looking.
I don't know if I can quite just pop up looking a total mess, but
I
I get
can't. I
it.
can't, but you get it. Like some of those people just get on camera and now they're like phenomenons, right? So
Yeah.
it's really important just to stop holding back, really trust yourself, but you have to do it now. You can't keep getting so caught up in all the noise in your head and things like that. Take it from somebody firsthand. I am like that, right? I have to, and that's why Quintaria and I work well together. I am so creative and such a perfectionist that it will have me spending too much time worrying about that when she's more of the person that's like, okay, MarKeisha,
Execution.
yes, let's reel it back in. And that's how you should be choosing who you partner with. You
Mm.
can't have two people in La La Land. It won't work, right?
One person got to drive while the other reads the map, baby.
Exactly. So I want to, close with that. And then also, just going back to my business, like if you're ready to build something intentional, whether it's your next move into a new career, maybe it's your next $1 million, like please
Yes.
join our wait list over at xire.io. So that's sire.io. Join us. Also, you can connect with us on LinkedIn at We Are Sire, as well as on Instagram, We Are Sire. And then, of course, you can always find me on my personal LinkedIn account. DM me, hit me up. I'm always available to chat with you all.
And I'm trying to pull your info to drop. Uh So just know when we reshare this and repost this, we'll make sure that we have it there too. I don't see that my team dropped your info, but this call has been all about MarKeisha. How, but but because I'm again, I know I've said it so many times for the people who've been on the entire time, like, okay, Quintaria, get off her jock, but but to really over the years that we've known each other, to see your growth and for you to channel your brilliance and to be bold and courageous and rebrand, and because we do. And I love that you were sincere, and myself too. Like I didn't start as a financial strategist,
Right.
like giving people strategy for multi-million-dollar ideas, multi-million-dollar companies. I did not start there, but I thank God that I persevered. I thank God that I didn't listen to the people that told me how crazy I was to leave a good job for 85,000, and you putting them kids in jeopardy, And now those same people, like I'm
Sorry,
paying off
Jeopardy.
their loans, and that,
Yeah.
like, and I'm not even trying to be funny. So trust yourself, trust
Mhm.
your gut. But even in trusting yourself, begin to know that the more you trust yourself, the more you trust the ideas that God planted in you. God did not give us these brilliant ideas to do it alone. Find your people. I am so thankful for the MarKeishas in my life, for MarKeisha in particular, but for other, because it isn't, like I said, I talk to, and my life. Like I talk to hundreds of people. I'm, speaking here, doing a lot of things. I provide excellent strategy and concepts for business owners who want to scale. But I thank God for the people that have come across my path, and however they ended up there, that have allowed me to become better, that
Mhm.
appreciate my brilliance in a way that, because some people, many people, if I'm honest, come to me to get what they need to get their company where they want it to go, and that's that. Because they cut the check, is cool, like.
Right. Like,
But it is a beautiful thing when you have people that you can watch them grow and they can see you grow as well. So, MarKeisha, as the CEO and founder of the Brunson Approach, thank you for the many props that you've given my firm. And thank you so much for sharing what you have going on. I know that we'll be back again for other things, but I know that we'll be back soon talking more about who you're serving, and like wait lists and all that. What like, man, team,
I
I
know.
hope y'all are in the chat. I hope y'all signed us up for the wait list, because
Yes, y'all better definitely be on it. No, but you're
thank
on there.
you.
You're on there,
Thank
Quintaria.
you. I hope y'all got us on the wait list. Come
Yes.
on.
Well, you know what? You're something different. You're like a legacy for us. So we got something for you.
Oh,
Yes, yes.
yes, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, I just want to end this. I'm gonna check one more time to see if your handles came through. But when we repost and we redrop it, I'll make sure that we have everything attached. But I love you so much, MarKeisha. I'm super proud of you. I'm proud of what you do in our community, for our community. And I'm just thankful that my legacy was able to share things with you that have put you, and not even put you, because you were on the path to greatness, but
Right.
just kind of giving you like some helpful insight to let you see how you can do this smarter, period. So
Exactly.
yeah.
And I'm so blessed that God has allowed me to open up my eyes to see these things, right? Because people could be throwing things your way, but you could be stubborn, you can have an ego and you're not receptive to it. I'm always receptive to things and I will put it into play.
Yeah.
So thank you so
Yeah.
much, Taria. I love
You're
you. I'm so
welcome.
excited for our partnership and all the things we have to share.
Yes,
Also, you
we'll
will
be
have
back, people. We will be back.
back.
Well, from the BlackPrint, we thank you so much for all that you do. For everyone who joined us and everyone who'll see this, thank you so much. My name is Quintaria Brunson, Madam CEO, and we appreciated you in this conversation. And we'll see you all soon.
Yes, thank
All right. Have a
you.
great one.
Bye.